进入直播间的朋友可以先签到，姓名加单位。Okay, today our topic is about artificial intelligence, a modern approach. This is about one book. As usual, at the very beginning of today's our conversation, Mr. John Martins, would you like to introduce yourself as usual? Can you hear me? Hello?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, please.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. So, hey everybody. My name is Joe Martin, and I'm a former software engineer and business analyst, writer, presenter, who worked with Fortune 500 companies for about 20 years. And I then went over to China in 2015 and began working with manufacturers there to market and sell their products into North America. And over the past year, my passion has been to help people throughout China to improve their conversational English, their ability to listen to and participate in conversations. And that's one of the things that we do here is teaching Dr. Novik and myself have conversations about a variety of topics we can learn a little bit. You may not be familiar with, but also hear spoken and discussed and meet. So over to you, Dr. Guo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lü Guo, founder of Suntrans, translator and consultant in geology, mining, and energy. I graduated from Northwestern University, specialized in biology, and after my graduation, I went to teach senior high school English for 3 years at Donghua Middle School, where I graduated. At the same time, I also finished my second bachelor degree from Lanzhou University in English education. And in 2003, I came to Beijing and specialized in mineralogy, petrology, and mineral deposits at China University of Geosciences. At the same time, I also worked for the globally largest mining company BHP Billiton, prospecting for porphyry copper deposits for several years. Over there, I acted as a geologist and translator. And later I was jointly cultivated by China University of Geosciences, Chinese Academy of Sciences, and Miami University in the United States, specialized in geomicrobiology, interaction between bacteria and rocks. And in the end of 2009, I came back to China. I worked for China Geological Survey, responsible for international cooperation and compiling a large number of international mining investment books. And In 2008, I registered Suntrans, certificate of Tsinghua University in Beijing, and registered Suntrans Consulting LLC in New York in 2011. In the past 12 years, our Suntrans have been helped these Chinese companies to purchase mines and oil fields in different countries. I personally have been in more than 30 countries to involve to provide translation geology mining, and also help these companies to involve in merger and purchasing of oil fields and mineral deposits. And sometimes we also organize a lot of international conferences, such as China International Mining Development Summit or China International Translation Summit, to help these companies to raise money to brand build, or to ask them to share their failure stories or successful cases. Anyway, we in the very beginning, our positioning is to provide translation in general mining, but later gradually become an international mining and energy service platform internationally. And after the Spring Festival, just because of the novel coronavirus, people couldn't see each other. So Mr. John Martins from Street English and I collaborated to provide a lot of programs online. Sometimes our purpose is to provide conversational English training to improve our spoken English. Sometimes we also introduce more deep or profound knowledge, very comprehensive topics. For example, sometimes we introduce the similarities and the differences between China and America in terms of culture, language, etc. And sometimes we also introduce a lot of annual reports of these international giant mining companies, such as BHP Billiton, where I worked, and Rio Tinto, Glencore, etc. And even the day after tomorrow night, the same time, I will be invited by China University of Petroleum, Beijing, to deliver a speech that is about One Belt, One Road, the opportunities for One Belt, One Road energy industry, and the cultivation of foreign language talents. So last time when I was invited by China University, Josa says the number of audience amounted to 3,560. And this time I guess the minimum may be about 5,000 people, or even 10,000 people the day after tomorrow. We have informed a lot of universities or a lot of colleges, and anyway, we have had a lot. We have had a lot of programs, and that is very interesting. And today we are trying to talk about artificial intelligence, a modern approach. Actually, this is one book written by two authors. One is a professor from UC Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, and the other one is top leader of Google. Google's top leader. Both of them are co-authors of this book. And Joe Martins, would you like to talk about why do you choose today's topic, artificial intelligence, a modern approach?
Well, I think in the one moment here, the microphone is, there we go.
Yeah.
The microphone was having a little issue. Over the last 10 years especially, but for about the past 20 years,
yeah,
there have been a rapid increase in interest in intelligence
Yeah.
Many years, people have tried to find approaches that would work to solve some practical issues that we were looking to solve. And so the tech industry, which is where I spent all of the 1990s, 2000s, the artificial intelligence was a big deal.
Yes.
The sport of computers make their decisions. That was what was really at the time.
Yes.
Now it's expanded into how can you use this decision making to support humanity. And so there's two parts to this, and this is why I think this topic is so interesting.
Yeah.
The first part is highly technical. It
Yeah.
is everything to do with how do you execute on the back end, meaning behind the scenes, the technical aspect of artificial intelligence. There's another part, and I think it's actually the far more difficult and interesting part, even more difficult than the technical side, is social and judicial side of artificial intelligence. When you have smart objects, when you have smart systems, and make mistakes, who is responsible?
Yeah.
When you're trying to make good decisions and you remove the human being from those decisions, what is a good decision? And so the research that they're doing is very valuable to try to figure out not just how to implement AI, then integrate it into society.
Yes.
So I think it's something everybody should be aware of. Here.
Okay. So someone remind you. Could you like to speak loudly? Some audience mentions that they couldn't understand you. They couldn't hear you clearly. Okay, please. Okay.
So it's there's the social and the judicial side in addition to the technical side, and that is extremely important to solve if you want to have artificial intelligence in your society. You have to figure out how to do it in a way that works with human values, with human procedures, human expectations. If an artificially intelligent automobile makes a bad decision, causes an accident, now what? With a human being, the answer was simple. You would say, oh, that human being is or isn't responsible. But when it's an object that was created by human beings that now controls itself, in a sense, now who is responsible? So there are a lot of interesting questions that need to be resolved in addition to the technical aspect. So the field is pretty exciting, and it's here. It's around us already, but it's getting integrated into more and more of human life. It's gone from a computer that plays chess, Wilson, self-driving cars, smart cars. It will be part of the matter of to what degree, in what way will we interact. So I think everybody should be at least aware that it's here. Now what do we do about it, and how do we make effective use of it? And I think it's an interesting topic for everyone to be aware of.
Now let's look at the experience of the first author, Stuart Russell. Stuart Russell received his BA with the first class honors in physics from Oxford University in 1982, and his PhD in computer science from Stanford in 1896. He then joined the faculty of the University of California at Berkeley, where he is a professor and formerly chair for electrical engineering and computer sciences, a holder of the Smith Z Chair in Engineering, and the director of the Center for Human Computable AI. He has served as a adjunct professor for neurological surgery at UC San Francisco, and as vice chair of the World Economic Forum's Council on AI and Robotics. He is a recipient of the Presidential Young Investigator Award of the National Science Foundation, the UCAI Computers and Thought Award, the World Technology Award Policy category, the Mitchell Prize of the American Statistical Association, the Fiji Bomb Prize of Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, and Outstanding Educator awards from both ACM and AAAI from 2012 to 2014. He held the Chia Blaser Physical in Paris, and he has been awarded the Andrew Carnegie Fellowship for 2019 to 2021. And here I have one idea. So nowadays, when some people are researching about AI, artificial intelligence, you can say a lot of people are learning biology or human bodies, autonomy, and nerves. Here is neurological surgery. You see, so would you like to talk about the connection between computer science, artificial intelligence, and biology, human bodies, and our brain? They also seems researched a lot. He has done a lot of research about our human body. So, would you like to take some examples in the world? Why people should? Sounds like computer science has nothing to do with people, but sounds like he researched the neurological surgery. Okay, go ahead, please.
Well, if you think, at least from a human perspective, if you think about the most complex computing organism that we know today would be the human mind, right? There are many creatures on the planet that also do other kinds of complex calculations with their brains.
Yes.
But human beings also have this innate ability to think, reason in a way that many of these other creatures do not. So for humans, our own brain happens to be the most complex thing we know.
Yes.
And when it only seems natural that we would then model our artificial intelligence after our own current understanding of the way our mind works.
Yeah.
So in our mind, we have what we would refer to as our neural networks, our raised neurons interact with each other, create thoughts. Now incorporating this idea into the computer technology, so you can actually take class at college on neural networking, and you can learn how to train a network to look, for example, practical example would be in my field in information management years ago.
Yeah.
We would take books, and let's say a particular type of book, maybe it's a history book,
Yeah.
or maybe it's a book about biological science. And we would have the computer actually read, but would have it index the contents of those books, and then could ask it a question.
Yeah.
And over time,
Yeah.
through training this neural network,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
accurately
Yeah.
answer those
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
So it's
You're right.
it's basically it's like learning, like a human being learning. The more we learn, the better able we are to answer more complex questions about a topic.
Yeah. Here I'm. Let me ask one question about the artificial intelligence. Our Suntrans is a translation company. We know no matter Google or Baidu, they have researched a lot about machine translation. And besides machine translation, I also machine writing. Machine writing also very popular. For example, nowadays a lot of journalists have become jobless just because their work has been replaced by machine. The machine can draft the news very quickly. For example, when earthquake happened, just in a split second, immediately the spider will grasp a lot of information online and organize them together, put it well together, well organized. One paper will be formed, and then post on the web. Even sometimes, for example, when Olympic Games is happening, or some war is happening, then just a few seconds, then all of the news will pop up online. Most articles, even no matter Google or Baidu, you can see a lot, check a lot of news. More than 95% news nowadays are written by machine, by artificial intelligence machine, instead of real man-made. So about machine writing, I'm not sure. Do you know some? Do you have some ideas or some knowledge about them? Yeah, please.
My only experience with it up to this point, and this is true, by the way, beyond artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence, no matter how good it has become, it will probably either never be or never be equivalent to us.
Right.
Or it'll get really close, but never quite be the same. If you think about the way human beings write,
yes,
you can usually tell, as you're reading something, you can usually tell something is not right. You don't know why, but you know that something about the writing isn't. It is. For example, if English is not some first language, when you write, no matter how hard you try, you can always tell that English isn't the first language, because there's something just a little bit off, not incorrect. Don't misunderstand, saying that the writing is incorrect. It's saying that it is not a native speaker of that language. If I tried to write in Chinese, you'd go, oh, he must not be Chinese because of the way he said this. We say this. So artificial intelligence writing, no matter how well it writes, if you read the articles, there's pieces that when you're reading it, that does not seem like a human being wrote that, or that does not, like an native English script wrote that, or native Chinese. Artificial intelligence is writing Chinese articles. So we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
No matter how we perfect it, there's always a huge element that if we try to remove that part, we're going to lose the richness of humanity, of being a human being. This is why in translation, we were saying a few weeks ago, when you need the absolute best translation you can get.
Yeah.
You want a good human translator.
Yeah.
That's going to give you the best chance of the most accurate interpretation of what that other person was trying to convey.
Yeah.
The artificial intelligence might get you 80% of the way there, maybe even 90% of the way there. But that last 10% could be the most critical part of the entire translation.
Yeah.
It could be the part that matters the most.
Yeah.
So if you rely on artificial intelligence to do the translation for you, you have to accept the risk.
Yeah.
That critical part of your document, of your book, that critical part might not be translated quite the way you meant it to be with what you're trying to. So, I'm a big fan of AI, but I'm very cautious, careful about being 100% in support of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that the human element is extremely important. You cannot remove it entirely and make clear decisions, military decisions, political decisions, and let some AI make that decision for us. that right away I can say with 100% certainty today.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many people from MIT or Stanford or any place, I'm not disparaging their work. I'm saying no matter how hard they work on this problem, the reality is that not remove the human element from the equation. The AI should work with us, not any just of us.
Okay, let me summarize our ideas here, maybe two or three points in Chinese.
Sure.
OK， 刚才我在这儿呢谈3点。第一点呢，就是我们在前面也做了另外一个活动的通知，就是在星期五晚上7点到9点，受中国石油大学外语学院的赵修凤院长的推荐，那在那天晚上我将做一个报告。那上次呢，在给地大的报告呢，当时有3600多人。那么这次呢，我们期望最低有5000人，或者最高也许会达到1万人。到时候呢，是做一个"一带一路"能源行业机遇与语言服务人才的培养。那这样一个主题。那么在后天晚上，我将会受中国石油大学的院长的邀请呢，我会做这样一个报告。那么第二件事呢，刚才我们也谈了，今天这一本书我们讲人工智能，那是一种现代化的工具。那么这是原本的书名字，翻译过来是这样。这个书呢有2个作者，我们这是刚刚介绍第一个作者，在介绍第一个作者，我们知道他的同时呢，我们提到了一个现象，就是人工智能呢已经在各行各业都有越来越多的替代人，包括机器翻译有很多呢工作做得已经很好了，还有机器写作，那很多的记者的工作也变得越来越少了。或者说他们的工作呢被机器已经取代了，这机器写得更快，而且质量甚至还更高。那当然，我们的 Mr. Joe Martins 呢，他的观点呢是未必完全会取代，毕竟人还是人的有很多机器无法替代的这么一些能力，所以他的 观点呢，相对还是比较乐观的。同时，我们也不得不承认，咱们在中国的今日头条也好，各大网站也好，充斥的这些新闻，绝大多数95%以上的都是机器写作，而不是人写作，都是地震发生几秒钟，它就这个新闻就写出来了。所以这个我们看到这个人工智能呢，在很多领域，不管我们愿不愿意，它都在快速的替代我们。对大家有收获的，请在这儿也做个回复。我们0到4打分，没有收获的你可以打0，觉得有收获的可以打4。我们给大家30秒钟的时间，同时也请大家帮助我们再做一点转发，谢谢大家。30 seconds， OK。Okay, let's see the second part of the first author's introduction. He is an honorary fellow of Wadham College, Oxford, distinguished fellow of the Stanford Institute for Human-Centered AI, associate fellow of the Royal Institute for International Affairs, Chatham House, and fellow of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence, the Association for Computing Machinery, and the American Association for the Advancement of Science. His book, Artificial Intelligence, A Modern Approach with Peter Novik. Peter Novik is from Google, and he is also very famous. Is a standard text in AI. It has been translated into 14 languages and is used in over 1,400 universities in 128 countries. His research covers a wide range of topics in artificial intelligence, including machine learning, probabilistic reasoning, knowledge representation, planning, real-time decision making, multi-target tracking, computer vision, computational physiology, and philosophical foundations. He also works for the United Nations, developing a new global seismic monitoring system for the nuclear test ban treaty. His current concerns include the threat of autonomous weapons and the long-term future for artificial intelligence and its relation to humanity. The latter topic is subject of his new book, Human Computable AI and the Problem of Control. Okay, here I have one question. You say this is a very famous scientist, outstanding professor at UC Berkeley, and I found that a lot of very great people usually they may learn a lot of different disciplines, different fields, and you can see from his background you can see he studied physics. He also studied computer science, and he also studied machine learning and sometimes about the nuclear test ban treaty and the seismic monitoring system. We know there is a phenomenon that if one scientist is trying to become a very productive professional, usually they will learn some interdisciplinary courses and combine them together as a result, we will become very, very knowledgeable in certain field. For example, when I was studying in the United States, my professor, Mr. Halian Dang, as a professor in geomicrobiology at Miami University, I remember when he was studying in China for his bachelor and master degree, he studied geology. Later, when he went to the United States, he also studied like this professor at Stanford University or Michigan University. He studied geomicrobiology. He combined some part about species of bacteria, virus, like a novel coronavirus, and sometimes we also test the properties or characteristics of certain rocks. As a result, and sometimes he also takes samples of subsurface several thousands of meters, and underground there are oil, there are petroleum. Some bacteria use take in the oil as food or as energy. And as a result, nowadays my professor during the course of my PhD, he has become extremely outstanding scientist in the world, and he becomes the chief editor of Geomicrobiology, the international extremely famous journal and academic journal. And here I'm trying to say. To state one opinion that if we are trying to become a very powerful, very strong, and enhance our competitiveness, then we must try to learn several different skills, become a kind of a versatile talent. For example, for myself, in China, there are a large number of people who are good at English, and there are a large number of geologists and some experts in geology or mining or petroleum. But for translating geology or mining, there are not very many experts. Some people are not willing to do this. Some people are not able to do it. So as a result, in the narrow field, I become an expert in the field. So just because I worked for global largest mining company BHP, also from no matter the degrees or my work experience in China Geological Survey and my postdoc, all the experience about language, foreign language, and geology. So when I combine them together, myself become versatile and become unique, and I will become distinguished from other people, because we just meet certain people who need talents like us. For example, if they are trying to purchase some great mines or oil fields, they must look for some people to involve in the negotiation. The experts must be good at language and also good at foreign language, and also know some international business skills. As a result, I will be well paid by them. So here I am trying to state one opinion. That is, for nowadays in the world, some people say, "Oh, I become jobless. Nowadays employment is terrible." Actually, the reason that you become jobless just because you just know certain field knowledge. You are not very versatile. You don't know several different knowledge. As a result, you can easily you will be easily replaced by other people. If you in a certain field, for example, for negotiation of mine purchase, usually this is a very big project. Few negotiators can involve in the project and involve in the negotiation process. So For the few people, you must combine several different fields of knowledge together and to negotiate. For example, when I went to purchase the largest copper and cobalt mine in East Africa, we went to even the President Museveni, currently he is still the president, he also asked us to meet him. He will ask a lot of questions. For example, bullet on a cobalt. Why do you use bullet? Copper and cobalt can be used to produce weapons, some bullets and some guns. So the president will ask a lot of questions. So the chairman of the Chinese company asked me to have a conversation with the president, just because only 2 or 3 people will have a conversation with the president. The person must be good at geology and knows and good knowledge and have a very good degree and have very rich experience in international business. So we prepared for several days, even sleepless night, several sleepless night for the interview by President Museveni. As a result, finally, President Museveni was very satisfied with our program and was willing to for Chinese to accept to take over the project. So I just take the scenario as an example. In certain field, only few people, you cannot say, oh, I just can speak English. You cannot say, oh, I know geology. But in certain field, you must know geology and foreign language and also some leadership or international business experience, and must combine the 3 or 4 experience or knowledge together, and then you will be selected as a very important position. For example, at that time I'm a project manager and a vice CEO of that company. Just because if you are trying to look for a great person, it's not easy. So when I was reading or talking about the background of the professor, sometimes about neuroscience, or sometimes about computer science or physics, or nuclear test ban treaty. So he is very versatile. He has learned a lot of multidisciplinary knowledge, and so when we are still middle school, when we are studying at middle school, usually we can study mathematics or Chinese and politics, etc. Only few courses. But when we are doing research or we are trying to do some scientific research as a scientist, that means we cannot just say it's some knowledge about geology or bacteria. As long as your subject, your research topic involved in that field knowledge, you just need to search and quickly learn the related knowledge instead of waiting for other people to teach you. So as a scientist, our work is to create new knowledge for human beings. So if we are trying to become productive, versatile, that means we must keep long life learning and to learn new skills. Even today, usually you and I are trying to provide online conversational English. Even some AI also can teach English. It has become our competitor. So we must.
I wouldn't want to learn English from AI. I would. The result would be a bunch of people whose English sounds very much like AI English. Think of it this way.
Yeah.
If let's say for a moment that you're that there are two English teachers.
Yeah.
One English teacher is okay. The information that they provide is mostly good, mostly accurate, and maybe they have a particular accent, let's say southwestern United States.
Yeah.
And then there's another English teacher, and that English teacher has a northeastern accent.
Yeah.
And is a bit better. It's not just accurate, but maybe their style of writing, their style of expression is a little bit more refined, a little bit better. Now, if they teach students who are only exposed to them as their primary teacher, they're going to mimic, they're going to sound like, write like, think like, and read like the teacher. That's a problem, in that, if you want your student to excel in English, you need to go beyond one book or one book, so that you can have a well-rounded understanding of the field of English.
Yeah.
As a result, if you do that, if you pursue that, then you will develop your own style. It won't be, Joe's style or Dr. Lugua's style. It will be your own style of writing and expression, because English becomes like any other language. It's a tool.
Yes.
And once you know how to effectively use that tool, you can create original things, original stories, original poetry, songs. Think of it this way. You can be a guitarist. You can learn how to play guitar, and you can be amazing at guitar.
Yeah.
But let's say you spent the last 15 years as a classical guitarist.
Yeah.
So, you know classical guitar amazingly. You're at the top.
Yeah.
Now, someone asks you to play jazz with your guitar. You could, from a technical perspective, probably play the notes. You will not sound like a jazz guitarist.
Yeah.
Because your training, your exposure was entirely classical.
Yeah.
So you can actually hear it. When you're listening, you can say, the notes are correct, but there's no feeling, there's no style.
Yeah.
So it's technically executed correctly, but it lacks the experience of someone who does just that genre. So, a good guitarist, the best guitarist, will learn how to play many styles: African music, Latino music, Asian style, Indian style, English style, country, rock and roll, jazz, all of these styles, because then your guitar is it's a tool of expression. And you can now express yourself in 100 different ways.
Yeah.
It's the same tool. So think of English or language, Chinese.
Yeah.
And the better you get at it, the more perspectives you can use, then you can express yourself more fully, more correctly. And I don't mean technically correctly. I mean as a person, your expression, your feeling, your emotion.
Yeah.
You can more correctly do that, or more accurately do that, when you have that multidisciplinary ability. That you've taken the time to see things, anything,
from multiple perspectives. And that's why on teams, when you have a team that you're trying to build, you'll do one of two things. You will either, when you're hiring, you want to hire people to be on your team.
Yeah.
One of two things. You'll either hire people who have broad skills.
Yeah.
Maybe they used to be a mathematician. Maybe they were also an anthropologist, sociologist, a physicist in their past careers.
Yeah.
So they bring many types of thinking to the team. Or you will have specialists. You'll say, okay, I'm going to hire the best physicist in the world.
Yeah.
The best linguistics in the world. I'm going to present it, and then I'm going to get a leader that will take all of this expertise and blend it so that the answers, the solutions, have a little bit of consideration of each field.
Yeah.
So either generalists or specialists with a leader who can pull together and provide a better solution based on that expertise specialist. And that's, I mean, if you look at the best teams in anything, in science, teams in engineering, the best teams in politics, even politics. If you look at within the leadership within China, I guarantee you, some of those politicians, the top politicians like Xi Jinping, have broad expertise. They will have a little bit of expertise in many things. Understand many perspectives when they have to make an important decision.
Yeah.
You know, they only have two choices. Either have expertise in many things, enough expertise, doesn't have to be, you know, PhD in every field, but a little bit of expertise in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Or they will have many specialists with a leader.
Yes.
And get them to do their best.
Yeah.
And bring together, you know, their expertise for the best possible solution. So it's hugely important. You know, I would rather have the team of specialists, or sorry, generalists or specialist-led.
Yes, you're right. I agree with you.
Then they're going to compete and win more often than not. They're going to have they'll have much broader insight into the kind of problems that you're trying to solve.
Here, let's look at the second author. Peter Novik is currently a director of research at Google Corporation, and was previously the director responsible for the core web search algorithms. He co-taught an online AI class that signed up 160,000 students, helping to kick off the current round of massive open online classes. He was the head of the Computational Sciences Division at NASA Arms Research Center, overseeing research and development in artificial intelligence and robotics. He received a BS in Applied Mathematics from Brown University and a PhD in computer science from Berkeley. He has been a professor at the University of Southern California and a faculty member at Berkeley and Stanford. He is a fellow of the American Association for Artificial Intelligence, the Association for Computing Machinery, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and the California Academy of Science. His other books are Paradigms and of AI Programming, Case Studies in Common Lisp, Verb Mobile, Translation System for Face-to-Face Dialogue, and Intelligent Help Systems for Unix. So he worked. Mainly he worked for the Google, but also worked for some academic research centers. This is his experience, and let's say the general of this book. Artificial intelligence is a big field, and this is a big book. We have tried to explore the full breadth of the field, which encompasses logic, probability, and continuous mathematics, perception, reasoning, learning, and action, fairness, trust, social good, and safety, and applications that range from microelectronic devices to robotic planetary explorers to online services with billions of users. The subtitle of this book is A Modern Approach. That means we have chosen to tell the story from a current perspective. We synthesize what's now known into a common framework, recasting early work using the ideas and terminology that are prevalent today. We apologize to this. Those subfields are, as a result, less recognizable. So this book includes many fields. About the fields in the logic, probability, continuous mathematics, perception, reasoning, learning, action, fairness, trust, social good, and safety, and applications for that range from microelectronic devices. So you have learned a lot of seems any connection about this knowledge and about artificial intelligence. Just from the very general introduction, what's your understanding to AI about this book? Yeah. Yeah.
We are not simply mathematical. There are many aspects that go into a single human thought. One thought.
Yeah.
When you think about something like what you would like to eat for breakfast, it seems like a very simple question, because we have grown up since birth with the ability to think about this very complicated thing in a very simple way.
Yeah.
But if you're not a human being and you're a computer, you have to take into consideration many things. The smell of the food, the taste of the food, your preference for food. A computer does this. A computer does this. Strawberry.
Yeah.
I think I want strawberries today. That's a uniquely thing. So all these aspects from than just a neuroscience.
Yeah.
Take granted how complex that one decision. What would you like for breakfast?
Yeah.
How complex that really is.
Yeah.
This does not have luxury. Computer science has to try to simplify the thoughts together to produce one answer for what would I like to eat for breakfast.
Yeah.
So this is why you see all of these different things. They're trying to we think inside our mind. The human mind isn't understood yet. We're at the surface. We understand a very small percentage of how we think. In 100 years from now, AI could look very different from what it looks like today.
Yeah.
Because we're actually using AI to help us
Yeah.
to understand how we think. So it's pretty amazing, right? Our mind created AI.
Yes.
AI will be used to help us understand better how our mind thinks to improve AI. And you a particular process by which humans will improve our thinking.
Yeah.
AI will improve based on a better model of the human mind, and that requires, as we said earlier,
Yeah.
from many different angles, many perspectives. So that's why the field of AI has no choice
Yeah.
to include sociological, anthropological, psychological
Yeah.
understanding to incorporate some of that into the machines. Have you seen, I don't know if you've seen it in action, but IBM Watson?
Yeah.
Very famous. So IBM Watson
Yes.
is probably one of the most famous characters of America.
Yeah.
We use it like create a recipe.
Yeah.
It fits the computer. Thinks human will input. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I said stuff.
Yeah.
You know about me. You know what I like. You know what I don't like. Can you make a recipe that I would like? And so you have to think about, like noodles, maybe this type of noodle, this type of stuff, and you come up with an idea. Imagine a computer is doing the same thing now. Similar, not identical. But it takes everything it knows about you and it
Yeah.
tries to create a recipe for a meal that it thinks you will like.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly complicated
Yes.
Yeah. And it has to have an understanding of you that's probably better than your own understanding of yourself.
Yes.
Right? We don't look at ourselves that closely.
Yeah.
Consider ourselves at that level of basically guy.
Yeah.
Microscope. It can look and say, this is who Joe is, and this is what I think would work best for him for a recipe for
Yeah.
breakfast. So it requires all of the consideration of
Yeah.
different disciplines to make that possible.
Yeah. Here I'm trying to ask some practical phenomena. I mean, one is about automatic driving. Automatic driving is so interesting, and a lot of people think about that. Maybe the people don't have to get a driver license, and don't have to just use automatic driving. And how about automatic driving in the United States? Do you know in your daily life or some people in the United States? Yeah. Okay. Talk about that.
So the best known right now.
Yes.
There's two. DARPA, which is the acronym for a defense industry group that works on automated driving. Very famous contest that they run. And just the automated driving cars, vehicles become better and better. If you look at the cars weren't that great, but today You have companies like Tesla.
Yeah,
that
Tesla.
Have the cars that are allowed. Here's the thing. One, that the car can self-drive.
Yeah.
But two, that it is allowed by society. That society said, okay, there's this self.
Yeah.
Want to allow it on our roads? Do we trust it? And so you've got those two things going on in the U.S. Is there a lot? Not really. You have the Teslas. You have some experimentation with self-driving trucks, things of that nature. But it will be a little while yet, maybe another 5, 10 plus years, I think, before you see widespread self-driving vehicles. It takes.
Yeah, I think it's true. And yeah, go ahead, please.
You've got this.
Yeah.
Is society. To create rules and decisions about how to incorporate that technology into daily life. For example, just recently in the news, there was a Tesla car that a truck was on the highway. The truck was damaged. It was an accident. And the car was going down the highway, and it didn't stop. It went right at the truck. And because that car probably never encountered in its testing that scenario, that specific scenario.
Yeah.
As a result, it probably did not know what to do.
Yes.
So what do you do in this situation? And the result, of course, is an even worse accident.
Yeah.
So we have a long way to go. The part of the artificial intelligence, but also socially, we allow self-driving cars to operate around pedestrians. Your children cross the street in Beijing. Are you ready for a self-driving car to be around your children as they cross the street to go to school?
Yes.
And for some people, they're very uncomfortable with the idea that they can trust that vehicle, which was designed by humans, and we are imperfect, that vehicle can be trusted around that critical kind of situation. School children crossing the street.
Yes.
There are many such one I brought example.
So I ask you one critical question. In your opinion, in our daily life, at least in America, we still need to wait for how long? Maybe 1 year or 2 years. Then the automatic driving will be pretty common in the society. About when?
I mean, I would say at least 10 to 20 years, if not longer. It's a huge change. Especially in the U.S. I think that China is probably more likely to adopt self-driving vehicles.
Why do you think so? Why China is much easier? Culture.
Because
public
transportation.
Like last time we mentioned about face recognition. For face recognition in China, Chinese people don't care too much. Even in the community of our, in the small community, our gate, everywhere there is a camera. And people don't care too much. We abide by the basic rules, and even our behavior behaviors are monitored by some policemen or some people, but they don't care. After all, most people are safe. We are not bad people. We don't do some bad behavior. So as a result, we don't have to worry about that too much. So that's why in China, face recognition seems developed very quickly, even much developed than that in America. So the application of face recognition is widely applied in many fields. How about in America? Okay, go ahead, please.
Again, the privacy rules.
Yeah, privacy.
Privacy rules.
Yes.
The legal system. Because of people's perception of the potential for abuse, right? When
yeah.
People hear, they're sharing a lot of public information. You know, when they go on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they're sharing a lot of information about their life in the public domain, so it's publicly available. Even though they do this, they thought that some system, some either artificial intelligence, facial recognition, that could be used to collect and analyze and then make decisions about people.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
This thing with driving cars in China, public transportation, trains, metro was very popular. Bus.
Yes.
I could completely see in the next 5 years, 10 years at most, Shanghai, Beijing with self-driving buses.
Yes.
Everywhere. I could completely. In the United States, it's going to take longer. People grew up for the last 100 years.
Yeah.
More than 100 years with automobiles and the idea of freedom to take their car wherever they want. And it's not about a bus, it's not about a train, subway. Their car, and they drive their car where they want. The idea of giving that control over to something else. And you say, oh, okay, I'm not going to drive anymore. I'm just going to get in this car and let this car drive me.
Yes, you are right.
Very much like a bus. A bus does that. Today, a bus does that. It's just that there's a person driving.
Yes.
You get in, you don't think about it. You're on your phone.
Yeah.
You're on your laptop.
Yeah.
The metro takes you where you want to go. Culturally, it will take longer in the U.S.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't have the public transportation system quite like China. You know, and so we don't have that luxury in many cities. There is no bus. In many cities, there is no metro. You know, there is no high-speed train. So it's going to take longer. Automated streets in China, probably at least 10 years before we'll see widespread automated vehicles in the U.S.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned several days ago, that is about the culture or the privacy conceptions between China and America. People have different ideas. In China, people don't care too much, but in America, maybe people concern a lot, so that in some degree it will become a barrier for developing face recognition technique, etc. That is very, in some degree, we can say internet was created by American, but nowadays a lot of countries, even in China, has been internet has developed very quickly. A lot of techniques such as including artificial intelligence may be the same. May I ask another question? I'm not sure about the percentage. In China, about the payment way approaches. In China, in the past 5 or 7 or 8 years, PayPal or Alipay Alipay and WeChat Pay have becoming very popular in the society. And 4 or 5 years ago, when I went to Singapore or sometimes and even in Canada, some cities, people still use a lot about a credit card. So how about America? Nowadays, people still use a credit card a lot, or how as people ask. Yeah.
A little different though, right? So think of credit card and WeChat Pay or Alipay is very different.
Right.
Credit card is a line of credit.
Yeah.
That's money that you really don't have. It's a short loan.
Yeah.
Certain, but WeChat Pay and Alipay are much like what we call a debit card.
Yeah, debit card.
From directly from your account and paying. It's money you really have, right? Those RMB, those yuan, are in an account somewhere.
Yes.
So, two very different things. Paying in the U.S. with a debit card would be similar to paying with Alipay or WeChat, but not as convenient, right? So, for example, if I'm in Beijing, Starbucks, and I want coffee, I can scan QR.
Yeah.
And you pay, and you go on with your life.
Yeah.
No cash needs to change hands. You don't have to pull a card out of your wallet. None of this. In the U.S., it's slowly being adopted, but there are many competing companies. So Apple, Samsung.
Yeah.
There are Venmo methods where you can pay, and different businesses only accept certain methods. So there's no universal, there's no one payment method that you can use at every business in the whole country.
Anyway, I just want to have the comparison between China and America about the payment. Where is convenient?
China's payment thing is much more convenient now because, again, you've adopted something countrywide, everywhere. And well, that's what makes it so effective. I think I said to you not long ago when I was in Qingdao, I was up on a mountain and I wanted some bottled water, and there was an older man selling water by the side of the road.
Yeah.
He didn't accept cash.
Yeah.
Just WeChat, QR code. And amazing that I could pull out a phone, pay on a mountain for water.
Yes.
That's not possible. That's not today. That is not possible in the U.S. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's somebody somewhere that does it. It's certainly not widespread like China right now. So when China embraced the internet, it did it without its history. The U.S. has a long sort of pre-internet technological history that prevented it from making what we call sweeping changes, big changes.
Yeah.
China didn't have long history work it. Instead, blank slate. Anything to do.
Yes.
And one of the things was payment anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
With our phone. And culturally, it's kind of built in China's culture to rapidly adopt and quick adopt a new change. But everybody says, okay, tomorrow, if China wanted to say every single but with a gasoline-powered scooter, tomorrow you cannot use gasoline-powered scooter. It must be electric.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Say, okay, I don't want to do it, but you know what? Okay,
yeah.
We'll do electric-powered, and that's it.
Yes.
As a country, you would be electric-powered scooter.
Okay, got it. And here, let's look at the contents of this book. This is the fourth edition of this book. For this edition reflects the changes in AI since the last edition in 2010. And actually, the first version was published 3 or 4 years ago about this book. Today we are talking. And we focus this edition reflects the change. We focus more on machine learning rather than handcrafting knowledge and engineering due to the increased availability of data, computing resources, and new algorithms. Deep learning, probabilistic programming, and multi-agent systems receive expanded coverage, each with their own chapter. The coverage of natural language understanding, robotics, and computer vision has been revised to reflect the impact of deep learning. The robotics chapter now includes robots that interact with humans and application of reinforcement learning to robotics. And previously we defined the goal of AI as creating systems that try to maximize expected utility, where the specific utility information, the objective, is supplied by the human designers of the system. Now we no longer assume that the objective is fixed and known by the AI system. Instead, the system may be uncertain about the true objectives of the humans on whose behalf operates. It must learn what to maximize and must function appropriately even while uncertain about the objective. We increase coverage of the impact of AI on society, including the vital issues of ethics, fairness, trust, and safety. We have moved the exercises from the end of each chapter to online site. This allows us to continuously add to, update, and improve the exercises to meet the needs of instructors and no reflect advances in the field and in AI-related software tools. Although about 25% of the materials in the book is brand new, the remaining 75% has been largely rewritten to represent a more unified picture of the field. 22% of the citations in this edition are to works published after 2010. So about here, I'm trying to ask one question about robot. Nowadays in China, even we know Jingdong sounds like the competitor of Alibaba, and they also have some business about delivery, express delivery, and they can use some robots to realize the commodity or the goods delivered by the robots, and it is said that gradually it will be promoted more and more become more and more popular or common, and when we were, I remember there was WeChat public platform that is deep learning. About deep learning, it introduced some high level, very advanced science about robots. Even some robots can move stuff from one place to another. I also watched on the spot in China when about Jingdong or Jingdong shopping mall or Ali and Huawei. All of them are research about AI and the robots, and including Baidu also invested a lot of money in researching robots. How about America? How about the robots in America? People, even some people say, okay, we can. There is AI wife that is at home. The AI wife have several models, and sometimes some very gentle, sometimes maybe very tough. And anyway, even the machine, the robot can be adjusted by several different models. If you need, some people love the gentle, some people maybe love handsome wife, or some people need people very smart wife, and it can be adjusted. People can use different models. So the robot even can replace a lot of functions of real human beings. So would you like to talk about robots in America? Okay, please.
Well, so there's a sort of an ongoing debate on exactly what to do with robotic automation.
Yeah.
Part of the problem, part of the challenge you have is with society.
Yes.
If you take your population,
yes,
and you think about the different roles that people have, so you will always have very intellectual people.
Yeah.
That maybe they go into become doctors.
Yeah.
You will also have a portion of each society that there are people who normally fill other types of work.
Yeah.
It could be collecting garbage. It could be cleaning the streets, cleaning buildings. They fixing automobiles. When you begin to consider robotics,
yeah,
or automation to replace these people, as a society, you have a difficult problem.
Yeah.
You can use automation, should you
yes.
use automation, use example, American automobile in the 1970s or so.
Yeah.
It was human beings working to make automobiles.
Yeah.
As companies in Asia adopted more robotics.
Yeah.
Honda, as they adopted robotics, American companies began to adopt robotics some of their people.
Yes.
And its quality, it depends. Quality is generally improved. But then the question becomes what to do with all the people
yeah.
would have had that role. And so, as a society, some people say, "Oh, it's simple." They can become something else.
Yeah.
Like, well, I have bad news for you. Someone who is a mechanic might not be able to become a scientist.
Yeah.
That might not be suitable for them. you have to solve the problem of you can't just replace the people without having something that those people can do once they are replaced. Amazon is a great example. Amazon group is a bigger company. Warehouses were largely run by people. You would have hundreds and hundreds of people run their graphics put into a box to send to you. But Amazon has begun automating, and so there are distribution centers that are almost entirely robotic, with little robots that zip around on the floor and get in a box to send to you with no human involved. You know, that's amazing achievement, except for one problem. What to do with hundreds of people who to do that? What do they do?
That's very important. Yes.
And automate. Interesting thing about robotics, to me, is that you can't just implement products without thinking about the impact on people, on the employment, on the social aspects of it. I can tell you, in America, if CEOs could do it, if they could do it, they would make everything automated, everything robotic, so that they don't have to deal with employees.
Yes, I agree with you.
They don't like employees. They don't want to deal with the issues. They don't want healthcare. Deal with the social aspect. You know, your employee comes to work and they're sad. They want a raise. Don't have. So CEOs in America would automate everything if they could. But they have a problem. Here's the problem. If you automate everything, and you now have no jobs for the employees that used to work for you, where do those employees get an income to purchase your goods and services?
Now it's a problem. It's really a problem. And
how much do you automate? How much do you turn into robotic, artificially intelligent automation? And still have a society that can afford to buy the goods and services that you produce. It's I don't know the answer. It's a difficult problem that we've been debating in the U.S. for a long time. At least I remember engaging in these sorts of conversations 15, 20 years ago. So, and we haven't solved it.
So today we are talking about this book. This book has 28 chapters, each requiring about a week's worth of lectures. And we prepared a lot of slides, but today our conversation has lasted about 1 hour and 40 minutes, and we have a large number of contents, like the outline of this book about artificial intelligence, problem solving, knowledge reasoning and planning, uncertain knowledge and reasoning, machine learning, and communicating, perceiving, acting, and some conclusions. And this book is very interesting. I have read this book, and hopefully our audience can have opportunity to download the book. It's very easy online. The author have posted his book online. You can read it very easily, and later we can forward the link to the space so that people can read this book or self-study the book by ourselves. And there are a lot of PowerPoint. I think next time we can talk more. Mr. Joe Martins, would you like to summarize today's topic? Would you like to summarize today's topic?
Sure,
Okay.
Sure. So, AI, it's a very interesting field, and it includes many different aspects. So, whether you are an English teacher, or you're a geologist, or you're a software engineer, the field of AI incorporates all different areas of expertise in order to improve the way that artificial intelligence thinks, the way that it
you're right.
processes information and comes up with solutions to mimic the human mind.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that as you're reading about the technical aspects,
Yes.
the neural networks, decision making behind the scenes on the computer level,
Yeah.
the legal aspect, is an artificial intelligence driven robot
Yeah.
going ever
Okay.
as you're studying this field, I think it's changing. When they wrote this book,
Yeah.
they had to update it so that it includes information that's recent. Their early versions of this book had information from decades ago.
Yeah.
Now the new version has newer studies and references from modern research. So this is a rapidly changing field, and if you enjoy it, you have to keep up with the latest. It's constant. You will never stop learning about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Continuous learning. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
and it's going to be everywhere. You're seeing it in translation industry.
Yeah.
It's been in software development for quite some time.
You're right.
It's security. It's in many. It's in distribution.
Yeah. The signal sounds like a little bit weak. Okay. Okay. Let me summarize in Chinese a little bit. Few sentences in Chinese. 今天我们讲这个artificial intelligence 人工智能这一块，不管我们喜欢还是不喜欢，这个未来以来，人工智能呢已经占据了我们日常生活中的每一方面。一方面，我们经营企业的时候也需要所有的数据也要服务化，所有的甚至也要用很多人工智能的手段来实现。哪怕正如我在健身的这个过程中，我们家里头那个体脂秤啊这些呢，所有的都自动成图、自动数据，甚至当我们对更健康的很多数据都连到一起的时候，以前呢，像这个作者今天的第二个作者他所说的，那像谷歌的作用呢，以前只是搜索，但以后呢，慢慢的变成了不但搜索，而且推荐出很多，比如说你搜索某些知识的时候，它给你更多的建议，你是否去健康上还要用什么用药啊，很多方面都互联了，万物互联，而且人工智能意味着很多方面都信息都联系起来了。甚至埃隆·马斯克他也都说过，那逐步的，咱们有些人还在学语言，甚至以后的交流有可能把芯片植入大脑里头，都可以很多知识都可以拷贝进去了。那当然，这有些呢是在现在的科研当中都是进展速度很快。总之，人工智能对我们已经带来了重大的冲击，不管我们喜欢还是不喜欢，我们只能拥抱这种变化。So today we have to. I hope every audience will become more and more knowledgeable for artificial intelligence, and we have to recognize this general global trend. No matter automatic driving or face recognition, a lot of artificial intelligence ways will be used in our daily life, our work. So hopefully more friends can communicate with us how to improve our work efficiency or to improve our life quality, etc. Okay, today our conversation is just so much, and thanks a lot for Mr. Joe Martin's contribution, and thanks appreciate for our audience listening. 好，谢谢大家 ，Thank you. Okay, see you next time. Okay, see you. Okay, bye bye, bye bye.
Evening, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.